Well, here it is. He is. This is the new Superman, Jonathan Kent, the son, of course, of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, their union, kissing a man in the upcoming comic book story.
The Man of Steel is not the only superhero to explore his sexuality. His characters are updated for a new time and audience, but critics say it's jumping on the bandwagon. We're discussing that this morning. First, here's Helen Keelan.
Well, joining us now from Gotham City, also known as Manchester, to discuss this is Amir Hassan, who says that this is a massive step forward, and very welcome.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning. And also actor Christopher Biggins, who thinks that superheroes have become too woke. Does it really matter, Chris? I mean, you know, it's reflective of the times we live in. There's no harm in it. And as Asim's going to tell us, he thinks this is a really important step forward, a bit like about the same-sex dancing in Strictly Come Dancing, which looks fabulous, and nobody's really missing a beat about. Why are you so exercised about it?
Why?
Yeah.
Why? Why do we have it? Why do we need it? I mean, I think that the two boys in Strictly Come Dancing are fantastic.
They are.
Wonderful. If you want to do something like this, do something original. Don't take characters that already exist and make them into something that they're not. I mean, I remember years ago in pantomime when we used to have the principal boy was a girl, and then it was decided that boys watching it needed a character they could get into. And then suddenly men took over that role. And I think it's important that we actually continue to do that and not pander to the woke system, which is what we're doing.
Yeah, I think if you had stuck with Clark Kent as Superman and you'd made him bisexual, I think you'd probably have a point. You'd say, why? That doesn't make any sense. There's nothing in his backstory that
But this is the next generation.
But this is next generation. And then actually, in terms of fiction, it's perfectly reasonable to think that the son of Clark Kent and Lois Lane might well grow up to be bisexual. I mean, why you say why, but why not?
Well, I mean, I just find it extraordinary. I mean, I do find it absolutely bizarre that this is what people want nowadays. Why can't we stick to what we've had and given? You know, the future, why don't they do some new characters? Why don't they, create something new, something different? That go to a character that we all know, we all love, and we all know is this, not that.
Well, he is new, Chris. He's the son. OK, well, let's hold that thought with you. Amir Hassan, you're not just relaxed about this. You think it's a very, very positive message to send out, don't you?
I think it's a fantastic message. And I do want to pick up on the word woke, first of all. You know, woke actually means, people want change because of issues we face, queer people, people of colour, women. So woke actually means we're noticing the social injustices that society have created for us, and we are wanting to change that. So that's essentially what it means. And, there's a lot of people that don't want change. And I find it quite disappointing that, Christopher Biggins, a gay man, doesn't want to see that change. However, not surprised given his comments against bisexuals in the past that haven't been atoned for. But this is absolutely fantastic. It's incredible to see superheroes actually become actual superheroes, because for a lot of young people, they don't have the privilege of coming out, and they're in positions where they are not able to come out and they're not able to be themselves. And I've been there myself before. And they look to media, they look to entertainment, they look to comic books, they look to these places, for solace and to see themselves. And if even just one young person out there can see Superman's son be bisexual and it helps them, I don't see what the issue is, because representation and visibility doesn't just change lives, it genuinely saves lives.
Well, I promise you I'm not...
What I'm hearing is, we're too woke and this is terrible and this is horrible and, why do we need to change things? Well, things need to change because society is not in a good place. And especially for the LGBTQ plus community, it's not in a good place. So, repeating my point, because I want to make this very, very clear and important, if you believe this is too woke, or whatever it is, or if you believe this is a negative thing, what you're essentially saying is, you don't want that young person that sees this as something that can really help them. You don't want them to be helped, because it will make such a difference. And I have no idea why anyone would be against it. How can this cause such a stir it makes no difference to your life at all.
Well, I promise you that I'm not. I promise you that I'm not trying to come across as a right-on about this or super liberal. I just honestly don't really care, other than I think it's because if you think about real life, I mean, there will be very, very tough guys who fight for the SAS who are bisexual and gay. I mean, there will be. And I think the issue here is, Chris, if I come back to you, the fact that traditionally we've associated the actions and the heroic actions of people like Superman and Batman, we've somehow conflated them with straightforward heterosexual masculinity. And it doesn't have to be that way. As I say, in the real world, you can have real male heroes who are gay or bisexual. And to actually just make one of them, oh, he's gone, to make one of them bisexual is actually a nod to that reality. That's the way my thinking's taken me. Can you take that point on board, Chris?
I can. I understand what you're saying. And I think we do that with Strictly. Look at Strictly Come Dancing. These two boys are fantastic, and I think they could easily win. And I think that's fine. But suddenly taking a character that we all know and we all respect into another field, I think is wrong.
I have to say, you mentioned Strictly.
Sorry, but what is this other field? It doesn't stop us respecting a character. Sexuality is fluid. It changes over time anyway. And it doesn't, the way you're saying it is like, oh, we're going to have a disrespect towards a character, which again perpetuates all the ideas in society that, queer people can't be strong, can't be a certain way, and we don't respect them. No, it will make a difference. And yes, we can have gay men dancing on Strictly Come Dancing at the same time as having a bisexual superhero. It's not one or the other. You know, LGBTQ plus people exist across the spectrum, regardless of how society wants you to think or what, the government wants you to believe. We're here, we exist, as you know, and we deserve to be represented. And if it's just in something so small as a superhero being bisexual, which will make a difference in people's lives, it is wild, absolutely wild to me, Christopher, that you could disagree with a superhero being bisexual that might help young people. It might not make a difference to you, and it doesn't make a difference to me right now.
I help young people all the time. I talk to young people. I do shows with young people. Young people are very, very important. It's very important, their sexuality. And I don't disagree with that. I do disagree, though, with taking a superhero and making it something that is not what I...
What if this superhero will actually help some young people? How do you feel about that? If I said to you, this superhero will help some young people understand their sexuality, feel seen, or feel represented in a space where they are absolutely suffocating under their sexuality, and it could potentially save a life. Don't you think that's...
And also, what about the people who aren't gay, young people who aren't gay? How do they react? We haven't discussed that.
What's that got to do with anything? Heteronormativity has been shoved down our throats forever. We've been seeing people kiss, straight people kiss, hold hands on TV forever and being represented everywhere. So should we ask LGBT people how we feel about that? Everyone, we all exist in this society. Let's not turn this around to how would straight people feel. No, let's not turn it around to a privileged position. Straight people are much more privileged than LGBT people.
And at that point, we're out of time. We have to end it. You mentioned Strictly Come Dancing, Chris. I don't know how many people saw the show, the opening of the show on Saturday. Did you see the opening of the show on Saturday?
Yeah, it was amazing.
I thought that the professionals' routine, where you had actually a heterosexual dancer dancing with the gay professional as a couple in a palace in a romantic dance, was incredible. It was beautiful, absolutely beautiful, and very romantic. It worked, and I just think it's very important that all our perceptions are challenged in this way.
Yeah,
it moves us forward.
It's fantastic stuff. Thank you very much indeed, Amir Hassan and Christopher Biggins, for discussing that